Hey everybody. So, finishing up Onslaught block today. A couple of things I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday we're talking about legions. I forgot to mention the amplify mechanic. That is, when a creature with amplify X comes into play, you may reveal any number of cards in your hand that share a type with that creature. If you do, that creature comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on it for each creature that you revealed. So, for example, this guy's going to amplify 1. It was more ways to reward people for playing tribal. Here's an interesting one for you. First creature ever printed with double strike was in Legions, the Ridgetop Raptor. 3 colors and a red for a 2/1 double striker. Was there a dragon in there with double strike as well? I know there was a dragon with double strike in this block, no less. It was like Dragon Tyrant. Did I come across him yesterday or today? I'm trying to remember. No, Imperial Hellkite. I must have come across it today. Put this down for a second. Dragon Tyrant. Yep, there it is. Flying Trample, double strike. Yeah, that's me. Anyways, what else? I got the Black Invoker's ability wrong. It's -3/-3 to target creature till end of turn, which is still pretty nasty. It's like, yeah, reusable removal? Thank you. Thank you. That and the Blue Invoker gave itself +3/+3 in flying or something crazy like that. I can't remember. But yeah, they were interesting things. So anyways, onwards to Scourge, the last piece of the Onslaught block. Big thing I want to talk about in white. Got the first printing of Silver Knight. Just like White Knight, except pro red. That's nice. Nothing too spectacular in green, at least in my mind. But one thing I put aside in there that I wanted to mention, we've got Dragon Fangs. Kelson green, it's an enchant creature. Well, these days would be enchantment aura, and then the first thing in the text block would be enchant creature. Whatever. Enchant creature has +1/+1 trample. Whenever a creature with converted mana cost 6 or more comes into play, you may return Dragon Fangs from graveyard to play, enchanting that creature. It was kind of a way to try and reward you for playing creatures with ridiculously high casting costs. That was one of the themes they had going on. The Storm mechanic. Right here we have Scatter Shots, Coulson red, instant, 1 damage target creature, Storm. Yeah, basically the Storm mechanic is when you play this spell, you put a number of copies of the spell on the stack equal to the number of spells previously played this turn. You may choose new targets if applicable. Oh, Jesus, Storm. Storm generally came in one of 2 varieties, either almost freaking completely useless, or horrifically overpowered. Storm decks were just horrific. People tend to complain sometimes about certain decks stop being non-interactive. They talk about how counterspell decks are non-interactive, and this is just plain wrong. Because counterspell decks are very interactive. You play, they respond. I know, it's crazy talk, right? But yeah, that's pretty interactive, actually. Aggro decks tend to be less interactive than that. Aggro decks is, I play creature, I turn it sideways, I don't really care what you do. I'm just going to keep swinging into you until you're dead. But mind you, even aggro has the potential to have more interaction than that. Storm decks? Storm decks didn't really care what you did. Storm decks are just sitting there going, I'm going to take 3 or 4 turns, and with any luck, at the end of those 3 or 4 turns, you'll be dead after one redonkulously huge batch of spells. I didn't like it. I think a lot of people didn't like it, but oh well. Goblin War Chief. He's a 2/2 for colorless and double red. All goblins you control have haste. Goblin spells you play cost 1 colorless less. There's a War Chief in each color for different tribes. The white one was for soldier, the black one was for zombies, the green one was for beasts, red one, as you can see here, is for goblins. I can't remember what the blue one was for, and I don't have a copy of them either. Jeez, put that aside. Torrent of Fire, I want to talk about this real brief. They had at least 1 card in each color that had a similar effect. Well, not a similar, but similar mechanic. 3 colors, double red, sorcery. Damage to target creature or player equal to the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control. Once again, they're trying to reward you for playing big stuff. Chartreuse Cougar, mention him briefly. Mountain Cycling. They had creatures that instead of cycling you draw a card, you cycle and tutor for specific land. It's kind of nifty. Enrage. It's Hell from Beyond in red. It really is. That's pretty much what it is. It's Hell from Beyond in red. If you don't know what Hell from Beyond is, it's Enrage in black, except older. Of course, these days we've also got, I can't even remember what it's called, but that green instant that is X green instant, target creature gets +X till end of turn. It's technically better than either one of them, but it's also in green, so there are plenty of times you're not going to have it in the same deck because you're not playing that color. There we go. Piece of cardboard, fleck of cardboard from somewhere. Blade Wings Thrall, 3 colors, double black, zombie, 3/3, flying if you control a dragon. Whenever a dragon comes into play, you may return Thrall from your graveyard to play. It's kind of interesting. There were a few dragons scattered across the block. The Imperial Hellkite, the Dragon Tyrant, etc., etc. I don't think any of them was cheaper than 5 or 6 mana. As far as I can recall, the cheapest converted mana cost I've ever seen on a non-changeling dragon is 4, and those generally come with drawbacks. For example, Urza Saga's Lightning Dragon, which had Echo, or the Wrathy Dragon, which required you to sacrifice, I want to say it was 2 lands when it came to play. Can't quite remember, but that's alright. That's alright. Pemin's Aura. Basically, it gives the enchanted creature every single ability of the Morphling from Urza's Saga. Pemin's Aura itself is an anagram for I Am Superman. Superman was the nickname for the Morphling. Pump blue to untap. Pump blue to gain flying. Pump blue to gain shroud. Pump colorless to give it +1/-1 or -1/+1 till end of turn. And I think that was my phone just going off telling me I had an email. I'm expecting important stuff, so I wanted to keep on top of that while I was doing this. So, thankfully I'm almost done here. Scornful egotist, people who don't know what was going on with the huge casting with spells that key off of stuff with huge convert mana cost. Thought this guy was horrible. He's 7 colors and a blue for a 1/1, but he morphs for blue. So the idea being is you play him face down for 3, and he's a 2/2, and you just leave him there until you draw one of those cards. The blue one was draw cards equal to converted mana cost of highest you control. And for example, you get the blue one, I believe it's Thirst for Knowledge. Whatever, it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Especially if you already have it in hand, you can pay morph cost any time. It's like, if you know you're going to be at 5 land on the next turn, end of your opponent's turn, you got the mana. Yeah, I morph him, he's face up, untap, upkeep, draw, pay 5, blah, I draw 8 cards. Kid sense, fun stuff. Nothing too exciting in the, at least in the multicolor and artifacts I own. Put those aside. And yeah, there it is, folks. That's Onslaught. All done. At least all of my Onslaught. I didn't get a whole heck of a lot of it, but as you can see, I still have a respectable amount. And I put some of the cycling lands from Onslaught aside because I have a friend down at the FLGS who collects common lands. I don't really, I don't want to claim to understand it, but I'm like, hey, you know what? It makes him happy. I'm not gonna poop on people's parade over that one. You know, far better things to do with my time than make people miserable. Unless, of course, they make me miserable first, in which case all bets are off. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Work on updating this. Check that email. Later, guys.